Hi guys, it's Sion. So today we're here with Salt for a bit of a chit-chat video. So I realized I haven't really done like a proper chit-chat where I really just sit down and talk in a while. What I've been doing instead of this kind of chit-chat videos is I've kind of just been talking, like doing a voiceover of things and putting in some pictures to go with the voiceovers. So I thought we'll go back today to this kind of like just a sit down chit chat video. And I don't really have like one fixed topic in mind. I just kind of want to share all the things that I've been doing related to the doll hobby recently, because it's been a while since I've done an update, I guess, and I don't know, maybe this is more interesting to you. So yeah, let me know whether you prefer like more specific topic related chit chats or really just this kind of sit down and like I'm really just chatting you. I'm really just chatting to you as I would to a friend when I talk about random things. So like whatever's on the top of my mind. So I think first things first, I think the most obvious one is that, hi, this is Salt. Come, Salt, say hi. Okay, so this is Salt. Say hi. So this is Salt, and if you've watched my other video, you will know that I've been working on this boy for a while now. So he's a Switch Sohwa head on an Iplehouse SID body. And look at his hands. Sorry, they're a bit creaky, but they're actually really big hands compared to like SD17 size hands. And they are really... I guess the easiest way to say it would be they're really manly. But I guess they just have like really defined, you know, joints and knuckles and things like that, and there's veins. I also mostly just like the fact that it's quite proportionate to how his face is. So it's probably not obvious because this is like a super close-up shot, but I think the most obvious thing is that his neck is really thick. I'll see whether I can put in some pictures I took of him. But yeah, he's finally completed on this body. So like his neck mod and then his face up are finally both done, and I can finally play with this boy. So Salt is I think even just like at a glance, is that the word? No, that's not the phrase. Even just like you know, even though he's like relatively new to my crew compared to like other dolls that I have had since a really long time, like Gabby or Sion or even Joe, I think even though Salt is like relatively new, he is quickly turning out to be one of my favorites. I don't think he'll top Sion. I think Sion is probably still my favorite like doll ever. But I think he's quickly rising up. So, yeah, I think it's kind of... I think one of the main reasons is really this like kind of duality that this doll has. So I decided to make him relatively cute. I drew his lip corners to be more smiling. This is actually much more smiling than the Sohwa sculpt is. But at the same time, he has a really buff body, which you can't see at the moment. And yeah, there's something really interesting about a character who's both, I guess, cute and buff, and I think more generally, who has a bit of the more masculine traits, in this case being buff, or like having strength, like physical strength, and also like having a bit more of a trait that's usually associated with women, in this case being cute or actually more related to his character, I guess. He's a bit more of a sensitive guy. So I think that's what's really appealing about it for me. And like, you know, even just like this tiny choker, which is really an elastic band that I wrap like twice around his neck, paired with like, I guess just a like gender neutral hoodie, is kind of, yeah, there's something really appealing about that to me. And I think that's like the entirety of like this character plus this doll is really what is making him rise up very fast in my list of favorites. So yeah, that's about Salt. I've also just been trying to take some photos of him, trying to get a feel of this body, because I've never owned the Iplehouse SID body. And I've had like, because most of my other dolls are like SD17 or the Switch Attractive 65 body, so like I know how to handle those. And I don't know if that is why I don't feel like spending as much time with them, or whether it's also because I haven't really developed their character that much. That's why I don't find them nearly as interesting as Salt. I think Salt in particular is like more interesting because of all this work that I've put into him, both like physically as a doll and also like character-wise. And also if he like goes in and out of focus a bit, it's because like whenever I touch him, I guess it shifts around slightly. So yeah. So that's Salt. I thought I'll have more to say on it, on this topic of Salt, but I guess I don't really. I think I'm still in the process of like trying to figure out this character, this doll. I find it really difficult to explain why I love this character so much, or why I love this doll so much. He's just really cute. I feel like this video doesn't do him justice. Maybe I need to like take a video of him from far away. Okay, I mean that's as far as my camera goes right now. And you can see like the face-up stuff that I have there. But anyway, yeah, Salt is like the newest guy and quickly turning out to be like one of my favorites. And on one hand, I feel really good about him, and on the other hand, I feel kind of bad about the other dolls that like came before him, and who I haven't really worked on as much, like Parker or even just Elfie. Like I love Elfie, but till now I don't really know what Elfie's character is like, besides being kind of a meek guy. And I think over the dress-up videos, I've been exploring what the Ryuzo twins are like, and like I'm figuring my way out, but I kind of have to really like sit down and make myself do it. Does that make sense? Like it's not as spontaneous as it is with Salt. Like with Salt, it's very easy, or even with Sion, it's really easy to just kind of like play with them, explore what their characteristics are like, what their character is like. And yeah, so I think that's really, I think really it's just the ease of how I'm finding out about this character, about this doll, and bonding with him. I think that's part of why I really like him, because it's really easy for me to just get into the groove, I guess. Yeah, and I mean, I think that's the thing. There are people who are like, oh, I can't bond with this doll, and I think part of it is really that, like with the other dolls with the other dolls that I have to put in the effort with, like the Ryuzo twins, Parker, Elfie, Joe, like, yeah, I get it, like you have to put in some effort, but I mean the reason why I'm keeping these dolls, it's because I like them enough that I'm willing to put in that effort, even though like having to put in that effort is a bit more difficult than with like dolls like Salt or Sion, or even Gabby. I honestly I can't really tell for Gabby because it's my first doll, and I feel like because Gabby was my first doll, he kind of doesn't really, he shouldn't factor into the trends I observe about myself in terms of doll collecting, just because he was the first and I tried a lot of things with him, so it's kind of hard to say for him like how much of it was because I was a beginner and I had the beginner's mindset, or if it's really something that I like. So with the other dolls, I think Salt and Sion are the ones that things come easily with the dolls and getting to know them, and I think that's the inherent joy. And of course the fact that it's easy makes it a lot easier to want to play with them, for lack of a better word. Yeah, easier to want to play with them. So yeah, I'm sure this is not just me. I'm sure there are people who understand what I'm talking about and how there's some dolls that you just relate to, or like you just find yourself liking more, even within your own crew, which is not to say you don't like your other dolls, but like there are just some that are your favorites, right? And I find it relatively difficult to articulate exactly why that is the case, but this is my attempt at trying to explain why that's the case. But anyway, Salt is cute and he's like finally done, so that's great. I haven't really, like, other than taking photos of him, I've not done much with him per se. Like, I've mostly just been trying to have him sit out and around the house when I'm doing things. So there's a spot on my bed that I tend to put my dolls at, so that I can look at them when I'm like just lying around my bed reading or something, or watching YouTube. And there's a spot on my desk that I can put them at when I'm doing like stuff on my laptop. So he's been sitting there. Some of my other dolls have been sitting there. Yeah, so like not specific to Salt. Some of my other dolls have been sitting there. And I think that's like one of the things that I've been trying to do more because of the depth viewer. So anyway, since we're talking about the depth viewer, and since I decided not to have like one fixed topic today, let's just continue into that. I haven't really given a depth viewer update per se. I didn't really want to rush into doing it. I think the depth viewer is more for me than really for making content. So I thought I'll share when like things are good and well. But for the depth viewer, I think there's a few things. I've been reading a lot of books. Things like The Art of Frugal Hedonism. Things like pleasure activism. I'm still reading pleasure activism. I'll put like more information on the books on screen or in the description, I guess. But I haven't fully formed my opinions about them. But I think one thing from frugal hedonism that really struck me and I think resonated with me for the depth viewer is alright, okay, I'm back. So this is my notebook. Anyway, it's a plain notebook that's orange. So I'm just gonna show you the quote that I copied out. Okay, I'm not sure how clear it is, but anyway, I'm gonna just read it out to you. So here I wrote, celebrate the urge to look after and cherish things and improve them by creative and spirited labor. So this is a sentence that I copied from The Art of Frugal Hedonism. So I think really that notion really is something that like I find is something I want to do with my depth viewer. Really, it's a bit long for me to remember all of it. I guess the way I took the way I took it and how I'm remembering and applying it is really just cherish the things you have and you know, take care of the things that you have. Enjoy them by taking care of it. So not to say I don't like salt, but like salt is a bit of a new thing. Like I am improving him with creative labor, but I want to talk a bit about the other dolls that I think I haven't really talked about. Even in like dress up videos. So I'm gonna just open my closet door. Okay, so I'm not opening it fully because there's like it's not clean. But anyway, behind salt you see this bit of white stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna move salt for a second. So okay, it's focusing on all the doll head boxes that I have in the back, but yeah, really the thing that I wanted to show you is this. This is the bits and pieces of my Unoa. So it has like almost this is like almost all the parts of my Unoa Lilin, who, if you recall, was like the main doll in the video that I first started talking about the depth here. So like that's like her head back, her torso, her limbs. What's missing here is her faceplate and her hands and feet. Anyway, I'm just gonna cover her back up. Oops. Her hands and feet are like inside my faceup box because I'm trying to like clean them. They've been mostly clean of like the hand blushing and feet blushing. But like yeah, so like her hands and feet are still inside here. The box is like full of MSC. But the hands and feet are inside here. They're not fully clean. I still need to go over them with like another round of acetone just to really get all the nooks and crannies. Oh, you can actually see the shadow of me trying to press the camera. You see? Okay, anyway, so this salt is back again. Yeah, but with Pebbles, whose body I've shown you just now, I've been trying to clean her. And actually her body itself is clean. I just need to finish up like her hands and feet before I can string her back again. So besides like Pebbles, who's behind the cupboard, I've also done Gabby's restringing and cleaning. Joe I did a tiny bit of. I cleaned his hand off the MSC residue that he had from like when he first came to me in 2014 or 15. And I wanted to clean his body, but then I thought, since I'm gonna restring him with new strings and wash him and all that, I'm gonna do something I've been meaning to do for a while, which is to bring him to the beach to take some photos, because he might get sand, he might get seawater in, and like if I'm gonna restring him and wash him, I might as well just get him dirty before I get him clean again. So like those are the other things that have been happening outside of like salt. And yeah, so like I didn't really want to show any of this. I do have some pictures from when I restrung and wash and clean Gabby and Pebbles from yeah, but those I guess are really just like for me. And you know, this, I didn't feel completely right making content about it. Like I feel like I need to experience it myself first before I show you guys like what it looks like. So or like even not show you guys what it looks like. So most of the time I'm completely fine sharing things after I've already experienced them and been through them and like process how I feel about those things. But yeah, I don't really like to always, just make things for content. I kind of want to just make stuff for myself sometimes and then decide, hey, maybe I'll share them with you guys afterwards. So like, yeah, that's what's been happening. And I think that kind of thought of like, sometimes I just want to do stuff for myself. Because ultimately the hobbies for me, actually even this channel is also kind of for me to express myself, even though I'm, of course also interacting with you all and getting comments and also you guys sharing with me thoughts on what you think. And also giving me advice, which I appreciate a lot. Because sometimes I get in my own head, So it's nice to hear other people's perspective, read about things that I've said in my other chit-chat videos or advice about clothing in my dress-up videos. Yeah, I appreciate the comments and like I do enjoy the interaction, but sometimes, it's like as much as I like friends, sometimes I need time to myself. I think it's kind of that mentality. So as much as like I like sharing doll things, sometimes I just want to do some of them for myself first, or like just do some of them for myself and then decide afterwards whether I want to share them. So I think that's one of the reasons why going on another topic, I guess, on another tangent, I haven't really been doing like the BJD Craft Sew genre of videos. If you check out the playlist, there's only like 2 or 3 videos in it, and like only one of them where I'm actually like making the jewellery. So I just realized that I think I prefer making jewellery without having a camera pointed at me. I think that's really the point of it. If I continue that series, I think it'll be mostly like maybe me putting the finished piece on a doll and telling you about it, rather than showing you like step by step how I do it, because that's not really like, I prefer to keep that process for myself. So and then I realized like sort just standing here doesn't really do much because like my topics have drifted off of him, but it's really fun to play with his hoodie strings. And this is like something that I would do if I'm talking at a doll meet anyway. But right now he's kind of, because of the way the camera is positioned, he's kind of positioned really far. And like my arm is tired just to do this. It's kind of stupid, but like, yeah. So I'm just gonna end this chit chat here. There isn't really a conclusion to it. I think I just wanted to share with you some of the new things and some of the things that I've been doing. Yeah, so like really the new thing is like salt. Not a thing, but a doll, I guess. And like some of the other stuff that I've been doing from other dolls is really just maintaining them, cleaning them. And yeah, it is nice to experience my dolls again through cleaning and maintaining them, because taking them apart and looking at their pieces separately does remind me of how nice the sculpts really are, and like appreciating the effort that sculptors went in to like, really craft all these 3D details. Like it's like you can look at a doll like this and like be like, oh yeah, I see the details. I see like the veins in his hands, I see the veins in his like the contours of his scalp and things like that. But I guess it's also kind of different when you're examining blah, why can't I say the word? When you examine it from points of view other than just like visually. I find for myself doing a face up on a doll is one of the ways that I really enjoy understanding a doll's scalp, because I take really long to do a face up. It can take me like 3 to 4 months from start to finish. Of course I'm not working on it full time. I'm like doing it maybe once every few weeks for an hour or 2 at a time. But the slow process really like gets me to see like things about the face up. Like for Switch, They are like definitely hand sculpted because the left and the right side of the faces are not symmetrical, and that's fine. Like I don't have a need for like a doll's face to be 100% symmetrical. Some people do, that's not me. It does irk me if they are very, very wildly asymmetrical, but I think a bit of like asymmetry is fine. That's how a human's face is like too. And like me doing a face up, I will try to balance out the asymmetry. There is a bit of fun in doing that, but of course, I mean, if it's too wildly asymmetrical, it makes my job really difficult. Yeah, in fact, the Vox Olivia is very asymmetrical, and I decided to just play up the asymmetry by giving him bruises. So that is one way to deal with it. But yeah, doing face ups. I think doing face ups is one of the ways I really enjoy, like touching the scalp. Does that make sense? I think touching is probably the best sense to do it, because like I touch the face with a brush and pastels. So like that's how I map and I understand the doll. And I think cleaning, because I don't blush the body, so like I think cleaning and restraining a doll is the way for me to find out more and learn more about the body, to really like map out the doll's body and appreciate all the work and artistry that went into making it, and even just like all the human effort that went into like sculpting, casting, sanding, even like wrapping and packaging it, selling it to me. You know, if you think about it, it's a lot of human effort. Like a lot of human effort went into this endeavor to bring me this wonderful doll, and like I've really been trying to appreciate the effort. Because if you break it down like this and think about it, it's really very wonderful and very wondrous. Like how far we have come as like a human species. Like I cannot do this on my own. It will take me years and years to figure out how to sculpt or even cast anything in resin, and now like yeah, we have to wait for dolls to be made and shipped and all that, but like it's not years. Like even if it's a year, like there's some companies that are probably really slow, but it's not like years, the number of years that it'll take for me to learn how to sculpt or anything. And like the fact that, you know, it's even available for me to buy a doll like this, to customize it myself. Like I do some parts of this process, like I do the face up, I clean my dolls. Like I clean my dolls now. I don't do it that often before I started this depth year. But yeah, I think really slowing it down and like going deeper and not wider, as the gap year's motto is, has helped me really be a bit more appreciative of like the stuff that I do have. And like I know I keep pulling his hands up because like this is the only readily available part of his body that I can show you on camera without like me panning into other parts of him on camera. So yeah. And I think one thing I didn't really mention here, but like I just want to make a side note, is like when I unstring the dolls and wash them up in bits and pieces and then restring them again, I really appreciate like doll joints. I think people who are doll makers will probably understand it, or if you follow people who are doll makers, you probably seen them talk about it before. But like doll joints are something that like I don't often think about it unless it doesn't work. And for it to work is actually not easy. To have a joint that's both functional but also artistically pleasing, I think that's really difficult. I've seen a lot of doll bodies that like have functional double joints, but I don't really like how they look. And it's really not easy to get a double joint, the like elbow or knee, in a way that looks nice. So I can appreciate it when I, you know, look at my dolls in greater detail. And yeah, so those are the things that I've been enjoying recently. And I think I've said I wanted to end my chit chat and I went on to ramble a bit more, but I'm really gonna end my chit chat here now. Let me know what are your thoughts on any of this. Yeah, feel free to expand on any of the topics and share with me how you approach or think about any of these topics. I think it's really interesting to think about all this. I don't say this I mean, yeah, I think it's really interesting to think about all these topics. And I would love to know what you guys think about this. I think it's not super common to be talking about depth. In the BJD hobby, it's more common to see people talking about buying, or even making, but just like, you know, there's a lot of production, which is fine. Creation and all that, production, creation, creativity, and all that is great and fine. But I think I also just want to sit down and just like appreciate the things that are already there, you know. So yeah, that's all for today. Thanks for watching, and